All right, here we go. Test review for Thursday.
Why do you move it? Because we want it on that day.
Okay, Dick Schreiber. I want you to tell me who the exchange student was who survived the brutal murders of 8 student nurses in Chicago in 1966. Who was the exchange student who survived the brutal murders of 8 student nurses in Chicago in 1966? What was the girl's name that survived? These are all matching. Corazon Amerso, very good.
Second page, 1966.
Chantel, who was the Texas governor that Lyndon Johnson ran against in the Senate primary election after World War II? In other words, he ran against somebody within his own party to get the nomination before he went to the general election. Who was that Texas governor? Coke Stevenson is right. Buck, who was the congressman that Lyndon Johnson worked as a congressional secretary for from 1932 until 1937? Richard Kleberg. Yep, Richard Kleberg. Will, who was the Navy diver that found the lost H-bomb off the coast of Spain on March 23rd, 1966? The story was later made into a movie called Men of Honor. Broke his leg, had to have it amputated to become a master diver. Who was that guy? Navy diver that found the lost H-bomb off the coast of Spain on March 23rd, 1966. March 66 is the key, because that's 66 at a glance. March 23rd, 1966. The Navy diver that found the lost H-bomb.
Well, that's Carl Brasher.
Carl Brasher, very good, yep. Hey, Brookie, what was the birth name of Lady Bird Johnson?
Claudia Alta Tabor.
Very good, Claudia Alta Tabor. Shania, don't give me that look like, don't call me. Who hit his 535th home run on September 17th, 1966, that moved him into second place among career home run hitters behind Babe Ruth? Willie Mays, the Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays. Yeah, that's it. Hannah, who was the man who held the NBA scoring record prior to February 15th, 1966? Had the old record, in other words.
Bob Pettit.
Mm-hmm. Bob Pettit, very good. Mackenzie? Now, help this out a little bit. Who was the congressman who died in office that LBJ was elected to and served the remainder of his term? I'll repeat that again. The congressman who died in office that LBJ was elected to and served the remainder of his term. James P. Buchanan. Now, Megan, who was the senator who died in office that LBJ was defeated in his attempt to serve out the remainder of his term? Morris Shepherd. Very good. Cody, who was the Republican senator from Arizona who ran against LBJ in the presidential election of 1964? Republican senator from Arizona who ran against LBJ in the presidential election of 1860 or 1964.
Barry Goldwasser.
Barry Goldwater, very good. Now this is kind of crucial because it cost him the election, okay? Taylor, who was the Republican vice presidential candidate in the election of 1964? And because he was not a William Miller, very good.
What was the question?
Who was the Republican vice presidential candidate in the election of 1964? Okay, Bailey, who was the one-time NBA scoring leader, better known in sports history as the Stilt? The Stilt. I just bought a signature from him tonight. Stilt.
Yeah.
The guy didn't know what he had. I think I paid 37 bucks.
Oh,
The Stilt. You know that, Bailey?
no.
It has to rhyme with it.
Picture of this flower.
It wouldn't be Nick the Stilt. It would be Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain. Very good. He was a one-time NBA scoring leader known in sports history as the Stilt. 100 points in one game, remember? Wilt Chamberlain? All right, Soraya, who was the convicted rapist who revolutionized the meaning of "you have the right to remain silent"? Okay, who was the convicted rapist who revolutionized the meaning of, quote, "you have the right to remain silent"? You have the right to an attorney. You cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you.
Ernesto Miranda.
Ernesto Miranda, very good. Milo, who is the student at the University of Texas who shot and killed several people from the top of the clock tower on campus? Student at the University of Texas who shot and killed several people from the top of the clock tower on campus. Show a little Kennedy wit on this, would you?
Charles Whitman.
Charles Whitman, there you go. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay, and this is really close history, Blaine, so you better get this. Who was the first professional golfer in history to win back-to-back Masters championships? Jack Nicklaus. Anybody watch the Masters this weekend? It's unbelievable, wasn't it? So Sergio Garcia, who's never won a major in his life, wins in the first hole of sudden death to win the Masters. It was incredible. It's a great, great tournament. Okay, there's your matching. Okay, moving on. You're going to need to know the 7 political positions that were held by Lyndon Johnson during his career. Okay, think about it. Give me one. Now, Yvette, what's one political position that LBJ had?
President.
He was president. How about another one, Sierra?
He was a senator.
He was a senator. How about another one, Courtney? We got president and senator. He was vice president. Okay, how about another one, Carly? President, vice president, senator.
Probably.
President, vice president, senator.
Picture this, the president, when he was serving vice president, died, so that made him something. Say that one.
No, there's said president.
I'm dumb.
President, vice, whoa. He was a congressional secretary. There we go. Keller, what's another one? President, vice president, senator, congressional secretary. Was he a congressman? Remember the House? Yep. Remember the House of Representatives? Okay, give me another one, Gracie Macy.
Senate majority.
Very good, Senate Majority Leader. And last one, talent. Senate Minority Leader. You need to know all 7 positions he served in politics during his career. Okay, Kylie, give me one example of why LBJ did not enjoy his role as vice president. One reason why he didn't enjoy it. Some people say it was the most miserable time of his life when he was vice president. Why?
Well, you had to carry out all of Sydney's
Oh,
policies.
no, come on now, girl. The other, that didn't make him miserable, made him famous. What made him miserable to be vice president? Why would you not want to be the assistant football coach? If you were 47 years old and coached for 40 years and the guy that you were underneath coached 1 year.
40 years of coaching schools.
That would irritate you, wouldn't it? Go ahead.
You didn't have any political powers?
What?
We're talking about me.
Yo, you're right there. You said what?
I thought you said the president.
No,
You
no,
didn't have
no.
any political powers.
He had less political power than he did as Senate Majority Leader. Very good. How about another one, Kyle?
He didn't like that Kennedy was less experienced.
Right, he didn't like playing second fiddle to a less experienced man. Okay? All right, here we go. It's a big one. This is a really big one, Brooke. There were two pieces of legislation that were passed under the National Defense Education Act. What was one of those two pieces of legislation that was passed under the National Defense Education Act?
Elementary and secondary.
Education Act, very good. Elementary and Secondary Education Act. What was the other one, Blaine? Higher Education Act, very good. So the two pieces of legislation passed under the National Defense Education Act were the Higher Education Act and the Elementary and Secondary Education Act. Megan, tell me what the Higher Education Act provided.
They provided government help to pay for college.
That's right. Okay, Shania, what did the Elementary and Secondary Education Act do?
Allowed for the use of government money in schools to buy textbooks, supplies, and
Okay, that's a very good answer. The answer I'll take is it spent federal money or government money to help elementary and secondary schools. Okay? Higher education spent government money to help students wanting to go to college or to a university. Okay, here's another big one, Nick. Give me one thing the Medicare bill of 1965 provided. One thing the Medicare bill of 1965 provided. Persons 65 years old and older received, well, no, not Medicaid. No, the whole thing's called Medicare and Medicaid. What did they do? Low-cost hospital insurance. Don't put that people 65 or over received hospital insurance, because they didn't. They had to pay for it. Low-cost hospital insurance. Okay, Nyabeth, what else did people 65 and older get out of the Medicare Act?
they got low-cost medical insurance.
Low-cost medical insurance. And Buck, what was the third thing that the Medicare bill provided? People under 65 received something or other, yeah.
Legislation.
Federal dollars to each state for medical aid for under.
Very good. So if it provided people under the age of 65 money through their individual states for medical expenses. Now don't pull the Hadley Jeffries argumentative discovery of 3 years ago where she put people over 65 got these two things and people under 65 got this thing. Poor people that were 65 didn't get anything according to her. So remember, 65 and over and under 65. You don't want to leave out the 60. You'll think it's funny till you turn 65 and don't get anything. Okay? All right, that's it. There are 15 multiple choice questions and 15 short answers. And that test will be worth 90 points start of the period on Thursday. All right, let's talk DC.
Yeah, 65. You turn 65 and get through a hospital. You want to be more for
Don't turn 65 or you're screwed.
Yes. That's not a good idea. Always.
I feel like I should.
No. Well, that's what we do.
Yeah, I
Right, well, if it's important, I'm just gonna.
I wonder why these are complaining about a waste of Alright, pass those back. Pass these back, kiddos. Now listen up. This is a subway train. Now this isn't what they look like in New York City because these are clean. Okay? Now, let's look at this as elementary as it seems. These are doors, and this is one car, and you see 3 sets of doors in each car. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, there are many cars attached to each other on a subway train. So when we get up to the platform, which I'll talk about in a minute, it doesn't mean that all 24 of you need to get in this train. Now, kiddos, if it's a nice calm day and there's not anybody on the platform, we would just assume when those doors open that we all get on one train. But if we don't, it's okay. I would prefer that. But if it's rush hour, when there's a lot of people, like when we go to the baseball game, although I'm going to get you there plenty early to miss that rush, we just got to remember that there's 3 doors. Don't all go to the same door. Go to kind of split yourself up and get on. Now here's the rules, like golf etiquette. You have to do this. When the train stops and the door opens, it is protocol that the people on the train get out first, and then you get on. Now, you don't pull a Saskia Perillo. Dear girl came and surprised me today, I about started crying. She was so kind that she would, everybody get off, then she'd say to somebody, oh, you go ahead. Oh, get on the train! or you're going to get left. So, you know, you're kind to a point, but we're not, you know, whatever. All right, so that's kind of that part. Now, for the most part, depending on the train, we'll probably stand if it's crowded and just grab a rail. And grab onto the rail, because if you stand like this, you will be at the other, somebody's lap. But we'll see. Now, if there are open seats, go ahead and sit down. That's fine. However, if there is a lady that's pregnant, or a lady has a couple children with her, or an elderly lady that gets on the train and there's no seats, it's always polite to stand up and let them sit down and you stand. And then you'll figure that out. Okay, picture number 1. Everybody got a good picture of that? Well, there's a lot of things that happen, and that's why we do this. Because it makes it a lot easier for me if you know what the hell you're doing.
Is that his door? I think we need to.
I've been on a cellular That's the one you don't want to stand in front of.
So this is a hallway. This is a very nice corridor.
This one's really important, so listen carefully. Because these people that sit in these booths have no patience for jackasses. I'll just tell you, none, 0. And if they don't let you go through, then you don't go through and you go back to the motel and stay there. Now look at, you will notice these turntable things here, and you'll see ones that are green and ones that are red. Do not try to go in the ones that are red, because that means those are the ones that people are coming out of, okay? Now, you'll go through a green one, you see these these openings. Now, this is very important. You'll all have one of these. These are really great. Do not lose them. You can put them in your wallet, and you don't even have to pull them out of your pocket. You can like put them in your wallet, like right here, and you can just whoosh, over the top of the magnetic thing if you have it kind of on the outside. Now what you will do is you will walk through these, and if there's 3 open, don't stand 25 people on the one. Spread yourself out, because people will be barking at you like you won't believe. So simply, you probably put this in your kind of a purse or a wallet type thing. You walk in, you see kind of the white dots on the top of those, and you'll put your card over the dot, it will open, you will go through, it will close. Do not
go through somebody else's. You know, don't get so close by them that you put yours through and then you walk through on their dime, not even knowing you're walking through on their dime, because they will chew your ass, okay? Without question. So you just go across, it opens, you get out, and you move on and kind of gather to where we meet. Then the next person, same thing. And we'll always have somebody like myself or Mrs. Bilodeau on the outside in case you have trouble. You could have trouble once in a while, it happens. Okay? Don't lose these. If I forget mine and Talon goes through and he hands his over to me, and you go through and they catch you, that's bad. That's a bad deal. I mean, honestly, they could cite you. It's like stealing, because to them you're going through the subway for free. These tickets are unlimited for 6 days. Unlimited. Otherwise, you'll see people buying them and everything else and having money on them. These are unlimited. You do not want to lose these. These are very expensive to replace. Okay? So these are good for a week. So you get the idea. You would go through here. You would go through and you would meet, kind of get away from there. We'll all meet in a group before we go anywhere. Okay? That's part 2. This is very important also. Oh yeah. Once I get you trained though, you'll love it and you'll be very confident in what you're doing once you kind of get the hang of it. No, it'll be great.
Are you using your own printer or the school's?
Oh no, this is a school.
How many printer cartridges do you go?
No, but
I would have
I'll give you the email address. Listen up, Nick. I'll tell you a story. Mrs. Bilodeau and I have about a $5,500 budget for counseling. We spent $3,000 of that budget on printer cartridges to get through a year in that guy. Honest God.
That's it.
Can I have a cross there?
Okay, there's some ass, those things that knock before you get it.
Just do it.
What's that?
Please, no, not it.
Get out the door.
All right, now listen.